But God, being rich in mercy, because of the great love with which He loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 4 and 5.
Welcome to our lesson study. This week in the book of Ephesians, we're going to be looking at lesson number 4, which is entitled, How God has Rescued Us. Now, as you read along in the book of Ephesians, you will recognize that there are three main themes that comes out of the book. The first one is how Christ has reconciled us to God. The second is how Christ has reconciled us to His church and how as a nation we are to work together. And the third theme in the book of Ephesians is how to live as Christians. Lesson 4 deals primarily with how we are reconciled to Christ, to God through Christ. And in that reconciliation, this quarter lesson talks about how we were dead in our trespass, deceived by the devil, trapped and lost in sin, and how the grace of God has miraculously saved us. You see, it is not because we have done anything. It is not because we have some magical power. It's not because we are wise. It's not because we are strong. It is not because we have some hold of some divine entity within us other than grace. And grace is unmerited favor. And even though we deserve the death penalty for the sins we have committed, the love of God through Christ saves us. And the sacrifice that Jesus has made on the cross has given us redemption, even though we were dead in our trespass. Even though the devil had deceived us to such a point that we could not even recognize God's voice when He calls us. And so God sent His Son through Jesus Christ to live and set an example for us and to reconcile us in love. It is truly an unmerited favor and grace. And this week's lessons covers the importance of understanding how this process was done and understanding our role in accepting God's grace for our lives. As you read this week's lesson and you discover how God has saved us through His grace, I want you to comment below and tell us, how has God's grace impacted on your salvation?
This has been our Sabbath School review of the lesson for the third quarter of 2023. Like, share, subscribe, and comment.